सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्ध ज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशांताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। Salutations to the entire Upanishad Rishamuni Guru Devata Parampara. Om Shri Agnivalkya Rishaya Namaha. Om Shri Vaisampayana Rishaya Namaha. Om Shri Veda Vyasa Rishaya Namaha. Om Shri Adya Shankara Satgurave Namaha. Om Shri Shruti Matre Namaha. In our Parayanam, yesterday we have done with the first Valli, Siksha Valli. Let us chant the second one, Ditiya Brahmananda Valli. Every day by this chanting, when we become familiar with the words, then afterwards when we see the meaning along with Bhashyam, it will be more useful for us. And early morning this way for 5-6 minutes chanting of Upanishad mantras is in any day and in many manners is so beautiful and wonderful practice. ओम अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानंदवल्ली। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरावः अद्भ्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधेभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति अन्नाद्वै प्रजाः प्रजायन्ते याः काश्च पृथिवीगं श्रिताः अतो अन्नेनैव जीवन्ति अथैनदपियन्त्यन्ततः अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते सर्वं वै तेन्नमाप्नुवन्ते येन्नं ब्रह्मोपासते अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठं तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते अन्नात् भूतानि जायन्ते जातान्यन्नेन वर्धन्ते अद्यतेत्ति च भूतानि तस्मादन्नं तदुच्यत इति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादन्नरसमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा प्राणमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्राण एव शिरः व्यानो दक्षिणः पक्षः अपानौ उत्तरः पक्षः आकाश आत्मा पृथिवी पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ते मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ते ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणपक्षः सामोत्तरपक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरसं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Remaining chantings we will do tomorrow. Now our Shanti mantra and then first three mantras of Adi Shankara Kruta. Let us chant and enter into slowly the study of this great Upanishad. Om Adha Shri Krishna Yajurvedantargata Taittiriyaranyantargata Taittiriya Upanishad Shanti Mantraha Om Shanno Mitrah Sham Varunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nata Shri Adya Shankaracharya Krita Mangalacharana Shlokatrayam. Om Yasmad Jatam Jagat Sarvam Yasmin Eva Praliyate Yene Dandharyate Chaiva Tasmai Jnanatmane Namaha यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते. Saluting entire Upanishad Acharyas, our own Acharyas, our own Gotra Acharyas, and all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, and our Ishtadevata, and the Parabrahma Tattva, and the Shruti Mata. You and I who are so much busy in the world, you and I who don't have even the vocal or vocabulary understanding also of the words which we use to transact in the world. You and I who have not discovered even the meaning and purpose of even the outer activities, even such as the nidra or any duty or the vyavahara, even consuming the food. All these things, though happening through us every day, many of us, many a times, are not very clear about what we are doing through them, what we have to achieve. Such less informed, less knowledgeable we, studying the Brahma Vidya through Upanishad is in fact a big somersault, and it's a huge, huge task, an impossible task. It is an impossible thing. Those you and I who have not even understood our Dehendriyadi, not understood any of our Varnashramadi, those who have not understood the Dharmadi, and any of the things, very vague. To such we, studying Brahma Vidya through Upanishad is in fact, it's a big, big risk or a task taken up. And yet, somewhere or sometime, if you don't start, then when will we learn it? Therefore, just it's a beginning of learning of this Brahma Vidya through the Upanishad. And it definitely requires every aspect of our serious, sincere efforts, which won't happen again overnight. Over a period of time, all these start happening. As we said in one of the earlier classes, the beauty in our life is what? When we start and when we don't stop. So we start study of the Brahma Vidya Upanishads, and when we don't stop, and in its continuation itself, when little regularity, sincerity, and efforts are added to it, the most toughest, difficult task, the task of studying, then understanding, then getting convinced, and meditating, and realizing, all these start happening. That's what it happened to everyone who were like us only at one moment of time. Later on, they became the masters of the Brahma Vidya Anubhava. That's what is happening even to now. Many who have started sadhana and are at different levels. Some have understood the Upanishad, some are convinced, some are contemplating, some are at the verge of realizing the self. Like that, so many are there in the world. Like a human life. Some just now born are there, 1 month back born are there, celebrating today birthday, they are there, first birthday. Then the going to school children. No, at this very moment, so many are there, and some of them are there very old, elderly, some are just dying only. So in a business, somebody at the level of whom only, just I want to do business idea. Some have consulted people and decided business and trying for place and investment. Some have started that and they're also establishing. Some have started getting results. Some are at this very moment are expanding their business. Some are just starting education. Some have gone through. Some are in job. Some are almost at the peak of their job. Some are even retired. Don't you see in this world, say, like at some place, the seed is slowly sprouting to come out of the earth. Some other thing, it has become a little bigger plant. In other place, it has become a tree. Some other place, it started yielding even fruits. In other place, it has yielded fruits from so many years. It is becoming old. In other place, the tree is being cut only. I'm just telling how. In the same way, so many are there in this world. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Purushartha. They are trying and at the various levels. Among them are you and me. We also have just now started our Adhyatmika sadhana. Like everybody who started and reached, we also have started and must understand definitely and also accept the difficulties. External in listening and internal in trying to understand, innermost the imbibing of that, getting convinced and starting to practice. Definitely, it's a long journey for that seed to yield a tree which may take 6, 7, 8 years' time. Some of the trees give fruits or things after 8, 10 years. For you and also it may be after few lives. Never mind, but we have started. In this life, if you have understood that there are Upanishads, in that there are the mantras, through that mantra and artha, there is a Brahma Vidya is taught, which talks about the one substratum beyond all the names and forms. Knowing that or being one with that is liberation from all the differences, differentiations, modifications, births, deaths, etc. Even this intellectual understanding also comes, it's a big, big achievement. And it has nothing to do with our even starting of the sadhana. Again, after all intellectual understanding, sadhana starts from the scratch level where we start doing genuinely our viveka and genuinely the vairagya, genuinely the control of the indriyas and mana called shamadama, genuinely the natural calmness, quietness and withdrawal, genuinely the strong establishment in going through all the odds without reaction, and genuinely that alone is my goal. I must reach out it. That sort of feeling, and genuinely, always, when will I have that experience of the truth? How to get which is the Guru who can teach, which is the God who can help me. So these are the processes each one of us have to go. Even after that, the next step is again after that time listening from the Guru of Upanishad with Mahamaka is different. Where I am involving in my own within bosom in contemplating about what I heard of the Upanishad. Then comes, yes, this is what is me, this is not what me, so that not me, I am rejecting, me, I am accepting. This is consciously done. Then the experience starts happening. So even after theoretical apprehension, everything, the sadhana again has to start from earlier only the ABCD, the Viveka Vairagya. And when all the package is clear, and by Guru Ishvara grace, some conviction comes and some of the Viveka Vairagya are gained, then slowly the travel starts. It takes its time, we will give the time. It takes its efforts, we will give the efforts, and let us keep on moving. So there's no hesitation, there's no stopping. We just have begun. We'll keep on moving with our own pace. Be pakka in that. Like we are our class. We started 2 years back. One after the other, we are studying text. You are trusting me, I am trusting you. Both of us are trusting the Shastras and trusting the Guru Parampara and the God. Smoothly, effortlessly, beautifully, this study is going on. It will continue as long as the Ishvara wants. In the same way, our general spiritual life also, let it happen slowly. No hastiness, no tension, no anxiety too much. At the same time, no lethargy, guarding our antakarana from the laziness or distraction or non-faith in the Guru Shastra, protecting from that. When you are regular sincere, it starts happening. What starts happening? The understanding, conviction, beginning of practice, establishing the practice, experiencing and establishing the experience that I am that. In this course, we started few Upanishads, and these days we are into the Taittiriya Aranyaka Antargata Taittiriya Upanishad of Krishna Yajurveda. So last few days we were studying Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankara has given us the introductory Bhashyam. All of that we tried as best as we could. And the essence of all that was only through Brahma Anubhava, Atma Anubhava, there is moksha from everything. So Atma Anubhuti, the obstacle for it is the entire outer world of Karma Phala, Karma, Kamana. So the Kamana, Karma, Karma Phala are born from the Avidya. When the Atma Vidya is gained, what is the gaining of Atma Vidya? That only in the Atma or Brahma Anubhuti there is moksha. Knowing that Pakka is called as Atma Vidya. With this knowledge of Atma Vidya, when we direct our Kamana from the Vishaya to the Atma, the one who becomes Atma Kami from the Vishaya Kami. And this will happen only after knowing the glory of the self called as Atma Vidya. So the Atma Vidya gaining should prove in itself in shifting our Kamana from the Vastu of the Jagat to the Atma. And in the Atma Kamana, when it is fulfilled in the Atma Anubhuti, it leads to Apta Kamitva, that there remains no more desire, no more activity required, no more waiting for Karma Phala, no more Janma Marana, no more Bandhana or Samsara. So, therefore, for this Atma Anubhuti, though which is a sadhana, Brahmanubhuti, which is sadhana, the beginning is the knowledge required for us. Therefore, in this Upanishad, the Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya is given. That's what we came up to in the end portion of the introduction before the Shanti mantra. And there the Upanishad is defined. Upanishad is that which does the Garva Janma Jaradika Nishatanam, then ignorance ka avasadhanam. Then third one is Brahma Gamayitrutvam. So Garva Janma Jaradi Nishadhanam is the loosening of the value, importance, reality to these type of life. Avasadhanam means removing the ignorance about the presence of the self, its reality, that alone is the bliss Knowing that alone is the moksha. This knowledge is called the removal of the avidya, called as avasadhanam of avidya. Third Brahmagamitru is the one who is following the Upanishadic instructions of sadhana. Definitely from the jiva to the atma, and the atma is Brahma, to that Brahma, his gamanam happens in terms of his identity, in terms of his experience. Like now I am at the point of Dehosmi, Jivosmi, an individual in this world, an voter or a citizen or a this varna, this ashrama, this profession, this monetary status, this membership, this particular individuality. So many positions we are now in our identity. From here, slowly we do the Gamana movement. This movement is not physical, this movement is in terms of our understanding, practice, and experience till the last point of Aham Brahma Asmi. That is called as Brahma Gamanam. So, this Upanishad makes one to do that Gamana if one is ready to go. That is why Brahmanova Upanigamayutrutvat. This is called as Upanishad. And the most beautiful definition given was Upanishadam va asyam param shreyah iti. The supreme-most good comes to the one who has fully surrendered to the Vidya which is given in this text. Therefore, this text is called as Upanishadu. Upanishadam va asyam param shreyah iti. Asyam Upanishadam param shreyah. So, anybody Mhm. Mm. Asyam Upanishadam va param shreya means in this Upanishad is seated, rooted, established is the supreme good called as liberation. Again, I am saying in this Upanishad is seated, rooted, the supreme goodness called as moksha. So, Asyam Nishanam, in this is established, in this is suited, fully rooted. What is that? Param Shreyaha, the supreme good. And what is the Param supreme good? Is the moksha only. In this way, this called Upanishad. Then, Tad Arthatvat Grantha api Upanishad. And the Upanishad mantras are making us understand that only. Therefore, by default, the text too, as well as the matter that is there in the form of shloka mantra, that also is called as Upanishad. But actually, the Grantha is not Upanishad, the mantra shlokas are not Upanishad. Then that Vidya, that understanding and experience by which the Nishatanam, Avasadhanam of the Samsara and Avidya happen and Brahma Upagamayutrutvam happens. Then only we can say Upanishad happened. Like we gave the example of Bhojanam, food is not putting on the plate or cooking or all that. Food means what? When it is consumed, first of all, you have to consume. It removed the hunger, it gave contentment, and it gave the energy. All these three happen, then only the food consumption is done. So, to the Upanishad Adhyanam is done means what? The Visharana of the samsara happened, Avasadhana of the ignorance happened, then Gamanam toward the Brahma has happened in us. Then only Upanishad is studied. Why it has to be said? For both reasons that somebody studies many Upanishads and claims arrogantly that I have understood all of that, but reached nowhere. Another fellow says, so much of the Upanishads I have studied, but no change happened in me. I am the same good old samsara. For both of them, the problem is this that they took the intellectual information only as the Upanishad. Whereas the Upanishad is actually meaning what? You have to get transferred. So you can't be arrogant by studying 10 Upanishads. Rather, you have to question to yourself, did I become one with the theme of the Upanishad Brahma Vidya? So to the other fellow need not become regretted or guilty. that मैं इतना उपनिषद पढ़ा हूँ क्यों नहीं हुआ because you were intellectually apprehending appreciating the Upanishad but you are not aiming at achieving these three things which are the purpose of Upanishad, the Nishadanam, Avasadanam and Gamayitrutvam. You have not tried for that. That means without trying for that also one can keep on study Upanishads. They are called as philosophers. They have all information regarding Upanishad, every mantra by hearted, every bhashya by hearted, and every shloka and bhashya word by word meaning as many dictionary meanings are there, otherwise meanings are there, all of them are known to them, and yet they can be continued to be samsari or bound, because they are taking Upanishads like any other study. No, no, Upanishad is inner transformation. Many people think that's how the study of Shastra has some information, some one more feather on the cap, that's how they do. It is actually wasting our time and insulting Upanishad. Is it not? If I say I studied Upanishad, yet I have not got transferred in my own self from samsari to the sadhaka, and in that also I have tried to do the sadhana, dissociating myself from the pseudo ego and associating myself with the self, then I am insulting Upanishad. I am wasting my time. So in this way, in the beginning itself, almost every Upanishad भाष्यकार हमको पक्का कहते हैं भैया इनर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के लिए उपनिषद है. If you don't use Upanishad for like that, then you have not used only. If you have used Upanishad only to claim some ego arrogance, then you have misused only. And me gave commentary, the gurus of mine gave me the knowledge, and their gurus, rishis, to whom these mantras are revealed, all of them gave it in parampara for inner transformation from samsara to the moksha, not for the external. So this medicine of Upanishad is called such a wonderful treatment of liberating one once for all from all the thraldoms and bondages. For that best purpose, please use this Upanishad. Don't belittle it, don't humiliate it, don't insult it. Because beyond Upanishads, there is nothing. Having reached the Upanishad, if we have not respected it by gaining what is offering us, then what else is there for us to surrender to get blessing or help or guidance? उपनिषद पढ़कर कोई बंदा अंतर्मुख होकर तत्व को पाकर मुक्त नहीं हुआ, तो इसको और कौन हेल्प करेगा? Even the God and Guru Parampara, सब लोग हाथ खड़े करेंगे. भैया, what best we could do, we have done like a doctor. The best treatment he did, but still the patient can't survive or he is dying. What can the doctor do? He is not responding to the medication or treatment. In the same way, in this point, we have to become sensitive. What is sensitivity here? Consciousness. What is the consciousness? That I am studying Upanishad and this is talking about Brahma Vidya, which is the one, the purpose of which is I have to get out of my Upadhi Tadatmya Yukta Jiva Bhava and enter into Sarvayavaka Brahmanubhuti. So may I remember this goal continuously, constantly, and to achieve that goal only, let every class be used for, let every study of the Upanishad at home be used for, let every attempt on the seat of contemplation be only for this. This conscious awareness is called being sensitive. That sensitivity and being consciously aware is the one which truly makes us get benefit out of this effort of study of the Upanishads. That is the purpose of giving this Sambandha Bhashya, especially the explanation regarding what is Upanishad. Upanishad means Vidya Uchyate. Upanishad is neither Grantha nor the Grantha Antargata Mantraha nor the mantras meaning. No, it is your own inner transformation. The samsara should get loosened, the ignorance should go away, then the experience of the Aham Brahmasmi should happen. How the samsara loosening happens? The ephemerality, mithyatva of the entire samsara will be understood. How the ignorance goes away? The self about which we never were taught throughout our life in our any of the academics, we were told about it. In fact, logically with all examples is proved that that and that and that alone is reality. All other things which you are taking as real now, they are all superimposed on that. This is called as removal of avidya. Then through the contemplation and actually doing the Vyatireka of the Anatma and Anvayavada Atma, we experience ourselves to be that Sarvavyavaka Brahma Tattva, that is called Brahma Gamanam, Brahma Upagamayutrutvam, reaching to the Brahmanubhuti. These three are the purposes for which, with which entire Upanishadic literature of Vedanta in our Vedas is revealed to the Gurus, Rishis, and they have given to us in Guru Parampara by teaching to us. With this introduction, now we will enter into the commentary study of the first Anuvaka of the Siksha Valli, which is none other than the Shanti mantra itself. So beautiful it is said. Now, this invocatory prayer or the Prarthana mantra or Shanti mantra, which is traditionally done by any Guru and Shishya when they start the study of the Shastra. In that, so many hundreds of things can be explained. Few things are what? One is one, the disciple is getting integrated within himself, bringing his mind to his own attention and awareness, which was distracted in so many other activities before studying the Upanishad, before entering into the class. So too the Guru might be involved in so many activities. Now he is there to teach Upanishad to his students. So he, through this invocation, pulls himself also and gets integrated to focus on this. Second is one, through the invocation, there is a beautiful relation and wonderful atmosphere of wonderful bondage is established between the listener, the disciple, and the Guru, the speaker, Acharya, which is so essential. If you and I are not tuned properly, no, then what I convey exactly opposite you understand, and it is such a terrible headache and frustration. Not even one class we can completely sit together and study. And if from last 2 years, 2,200 classes, if you have done, means that much of faith you had in me and I had in you. So that is a purpose achieved through invocation. Second one. Third one is what both Guru and Shishya become familiar about or conscious about what they are going to do in this interaction. So the theme of their purpose of coming together is being explained through this in the invocation prayers. The theme is explained what the thing which we are going to do when we are here as the speaker and listener. And then both of us, the disciple and Guru, also get synergized, integrated, committed to achieve what is there in that particular study of Upanishad. This is the half of the thing that happens in this invocatory prayers. Second half of it is what? Remember, in this huge cosmos, you and I are such a tiny individuals. Not only such a tiny individuals, we are within ourselves and without ourselves. How many number of obstacles are there, or shortcomings are there, or weaknesses are there, lacuna are there, because of which this undertaking of Guru Shishya study Upanishad may get distracted or disturbed. Unless we block all those things, our study cannot be effective. Like you have to enjoy the AC in your room, you have to block all the things by which the AC goes out. Then only the cooling effect is there. सारे खिड़कियां खोल दिया, दरवाजा खोल दिया, तो all the thing goes away only. In the same way, to synergize us, to empower us, to remove all the obstacles, en route inner and outer, inevitably we need the grace and blessings of the same Paramatma who is the theme of the Upanishad in the form of the Guru, in the form of Paramatma, in the form of the Ishta Devata. Therefore, in the second portion of the Shanti mantras, this invocation of the blessings from the phenomenal forces which are guiding our faculties and the Lord Himself, who is not only managing the entire universe but also managing the sadhana of the sadhakas, of all of them, the grace is invoked. That's why the every Upanishad mantra we may not study every day, but this Shanti mantra, invocatory mantra, is compulsorily studied by the Guru as well as disciple every day. Okay. Then the third aspect is there in the Shanti mantra sometimes is what? Some preparatory qualifications are mentioned for us to gain. कुछ preparations, qualifications. And the fourth aspect would be in the Shanti mantras is what? Ki, some pratignyas are being done. The vows are taken up. So, in explaining to you as the Bhadram Karanemi during Mandukya Upanishad's beginning, we explained this very exhaustively. In every of the Shanti mantra, these three things are there. One is pratignya, second is prayatnam, that is one, third one is called prarthana. We have the right to do prarthana only after we did our prayatnam. Before the prayatnam, we have to take up pratignya. So after pratignya, then prayatnam, then the prarthana, Then we have to wait for the Lord to bless with the result called as pratiksha. After the pratiksha is done sufficiently, when His grace comes the right time, then prapti happens of the result. So pratigna, prayatna, prarthana, pratiksha and prapti, the 5 pras. Promptly, properly, we have to profoundly involve in. Then only we will be able to get full benefit. So these are the various things that are achieved through prarthana mantra. And many mantras just are taught, chanted and move ahead. But this particular mantra, our Guru Bhagavan Adi Shankara takes it so seriously, sincerely, that he explains word by word. So let us chant it once, and today we try to see the meaning of the mantra, and every day we do this mantra with that bhava. And if you and I are committed every day, throughout the day, jab bhi mauka mile, maybe you keep a target of some amount number, and daily 11 times or 21 times if you can do, it may help. I may do it from today. The Shanno Mitra and in the fourth Anuvaka, Yaschanda Samrshubha Vishwarupaha, कहीं भी बैठकर 5 मिनट में 10 या 11 बार पढ़ते रहने से आई एम श्योर द more grace and blessings of these phenomenal devatas come, which will certainly help us in becoming more committed and successful in our both speaking, listening, as well as studying, understanding, as well as practicing and experiencing. So let us chant together. Om atha Siksha Valli प्रथमोनुवाकः शांति मंत्रः ओम शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Never hesitate, never be frightened. Just keep practicing. In one day, Subha, Dophar, Sham, up 20 times padho, all the Ucharana doshas will go away. You will be able to do it. In our morning Veda Mantra classes 2 years back, when we started these classes on May 8th, 2020, first 15 days May, when we did Shanti Mantra, this mantra also explained that time. If you remember, recently 6 months back, even Telugu also we did it. So that time 11 times we chanted also. Okay, so keep practicing, nothing is impossible. Okay, now let us see what Bhagavan says. Now in this mantra, yesterday we explained to you what is there. Given is the phenomenal devatas called presiding deities of the Adibhautika Jagat as well as Adhyatmika Jagat, who are none but one without second Paramatma alone in these forms. They are consciously remembered, their powers are consciously remembered, their presence or performance or participation or contribution is remembered, and deliberately, consciously, they are prayed to be with us, to protect us, to bless us, to empower us, to remove the obstacles, etc. when we are embarking on this path of knowing the Brahma Vidya through the study of the Upanishads in the class as an Acharya and the listener. This is what is achieved in that. And also, 4 aspects I said yesterday. We will be taking name of each of the devatas and then asking them something specific. Then the second one, the Mukhya Devata, the Vayu, we pray to him. In the third one, we do the Pratigna. And in the fourth one, we do the commitment in Pratigna. In the fourth one, finally what we want from them, we ask. In the fifth one, we spoke about the Trivida Tapa Shanti. These are the 5 things that are there in this mantra. So, Shamno Mitra, Shamvarnaha, Shamno Bhavatparyama, Shanna Indro Banaspati, Shanno Vishnu Rukramaha. This is one portion. Second, Namo Brahmane, Namaste Vayo, Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvameva Pratyaksham Adhishyami. This is the second portion. Rutam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami. This is the third portion. Tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatumam avatu vaktaram. Fourth portion. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. पांच भाग है. सो व्हेन यू बिकम दैट वे फेमिलियर ना, डिसेक्ट करके समझ के एक एक चीज को प्रैक्टिस करो, देन यू विल गेट अ जॉय ऑफ डूइंग इट. देन द बेनिफिट एनीवे becomes because when you're doing it joyfully, sincerely. Now first one, Shamno Mitraha. Throughout this prayer, Sham is there. Sham is the common main word. Sham means Shanti. Sham means peace. Sham means disturbancelessness. Sham means full of vigor and vitality. Sham means dynamism. Sham means sukuna, if you say in Hindi. So, Sham means it should start so beautifully, peacefully, with all alertness and dynamism, and it should go on continuously in the same way till the end result is achieved. There should be no gadabad or harbadat for any reason. Like in any of the travel, there will be gadbad in the beginning, in between, towards the end. Some people do that type of travel. शुरू में, बीच में, अंत में, always tension. For various lacuna or non-preparedness. But some are the ones who conduct everything so smoothly that there's no effort involved at all. Why is it so? Because they are very thorough, sharp in their intellect, that they plan exhaustively the route, the whole program in all its aspects. They're very clear about the destination, and in that, which are the places to stay. We are very clear about what are the transport mode convenient and according to our own budget. They book all of them in time. No wait list, RAC, pakka, everything is confirmed. देखो टेंशन ही नहीं है वहाँ. And then they know what are the things to be taken there, so that we not buy there or any such thing. And then they prepare mentally everything. The route map is there with them. Hotels where they check in is pakka is there. In fact, every aspect they so pakka thoroughly plan it. They manage their own health. They prepare their minds into individually and totally to help each other if it's all required. If they are going to such pilgrim place, which is tough because of weather or any heights, then they prepare themselves physically and mentally सब तरह से. And at every moment, they are remembering the Lord is grace, and they are doing their best, and they are not disturbed by anything if odd happens, and they are not too much excited, elated also, something good happens. Such way they start, they go through, they end also in such a beautiful manner, that pilgrimage. Some people conduct the entire life like that. No hard in their education time. No anxiety in during their Naukarika time. And during their Grahastha ashrama, are married, got children, सब मजा चल रहा है. And toward the end also आराम से retired and well left the body also without tension. That is called as Sham. Should we our study Sham or not? It should be. Let it start beautifully, peacefully, joyfully, fruitfully, joyfully, and continue like that and conclude also. So each of the devatas will bless in each of the form, each of the faculty or ability, which put together will help us in achieving this feat. What are the feat we are doing? The teacher is speaking, we are listening, the Brahma Vidya, and both of them are in the deep contemplation toward the end to experience that Brahma Vidya Upanishad, so that there is liberated from Jiva Deha Bandhanam. Okay, so first one, Shamno Mitraha. No means Naha. Naha means Asmabhyam. Asmabhyam means to all of us. तो one guru, many disciples. पास्ट में ऐसा होता था, अब बदल गए. एक डिसेबल बहुत सारे गुरु हो गए. एक सुन सुन के सब गुरु बन गए आजकल. Everybody is a guru and one disciple. And he makes the gurus dance. He will command them. By the way, so Naha Asmabhyam Mitraha, Lord Surya becomes Sham Bhavatu. So Mitraha Naha Sham Bhavatu. This is the whole simple Sanskrit sentence. Remember that. So the Mitraha Naha Sham Bhavatu. Naha means to us. Sham means can't be blessed and kind towards us, so that his obstacles are not there to us, and all his benefits or blessings are there to us for our sadhana. है ना, किसी बंदे से हमको दिक्कत भी नहीं होना चाहिए और उनसे जो फायदा होना है वो भी हो जाए, देन हमारी यात्रा अच्छी तरह से होती है. So in that word sham, both are there. Despite all our shortcomings, mistakes, oh Lord, please punish not us. Don't create any obstacles, troubles in the way. On the other hand, I am praying to you. So take this prayer, which have come from my heart, very seriously, sincerely, and please bless us with whatever you can give us when we have to travel. So we talked about Sham Bhavatu. Naha means Asmabhyam. And who is Mitraha? Here, Mitra is Pranavuttehe Ahnaha cha Abhimani Devata Atma Mitraha. Naha Asmakam Sham Bhavatu. Clear? He is the Adhimani Devata, a Pranavrutti and Abhimani Devata of the daytime. So yesterday we tried to touch upon this. Ki everything happens to us or in our life because of the vritti of the prana shakti. In these two things are there. One, prana shakti should be there. Second is that prana vritti or the prana shakti should be utilized in doing the vritti which is to be done. All the prana shakti, if it is exhausted in unwanted things, and when the right thing we have to do at that time, prana shakti is zero, then can we achieve anything? Therefore, when we pray to that Surya Bhagavan in the form of the Mitra, who is Adhisthana of the Prana Vritti, he will see to it that our Prana Shaktis are full. More than that, they are not wasted in the unwanted activities. They are conserved and rightly utilized in proper quantity only in that Vritti of ours. And what is the Vritti of ours? Studying deeply, consciously, quietly, every word of the Upanishad, every shloka, and trying to grasp it and feel what it is meant in our life as sadhana and siddhi. To do this vritti, the sufficient prana shakti is the giver. The giver of this is called the Mitra. Therefore, we are praying to him Shamnaha. There should never be a lacking of prana shakti throughout our study, and that prana shakti should be utilized fully for this particular vritti of our study. How important is this? You see the greatness of the rishis. They have understood. Though they know they are Brahman, but at the Upadhi level, they know these Upadhis are the Vyashti, or because of the Samishti given, unless Samishti blesses us, the Vyashti cannot sustain or pursue its path. They know it. Therefore, in the beginning only, they established such a beautiful rapport between the Vyashti Upadhis to the Samishti Devata Shaktis. So that is continuously is there. So it is called the Pranavrutti Abhimani Devata Atma is Mitraha. Is one aspect of Lord Surya. In the 12 names of Lord Surya, that's how it's the starting. First one. Om Mitraya Namah, Ravaye Namah, Suryaya Namah, Bhanave Namah, Kagaya Namah, Pushne Namah, Hiranyagarbhaya Namah, Marichaya Namah, Aditya Namah, Savitri Namah, Arkaya Namah, Bhaskaraya Namah, Chayusha Sameda Sri Suryana Namah, Brahmane Namah. That's what. Now the pranavritti, as we said, it is there in the samishti also, and the from samishti only it comes towards the vyashti. Yesterday you saw when the Vayu Bhagavan became angry and he did the Stambhanam, then the entire three lokas were almost getting so suffocated that their bones were breaking. They could not do their vritti, they could not do anything. Pura हमको बताया कल. Then Brahmadev came and touched Hanumanji, he became normal and immediately Vayu released. All this Tambanatvam and everybody felt हाँ बच गए रे बाबा सूखे हुए घास पे पानी डालो तो कैसे होता है. That example was given yesterday. So the prana shakti is there in the whole universe. From that only we get it. This Mitra Bhagavan is the one, not only is the cause of the pranavritti, also the cause of the entry of the pranavritti into us in the required sufficient quantity. Then that is Mitraya Namaha. Second is what? Akhnaha Devata. Akhnaha means he is the presiding deity of the daytime. Daytime is such a funny thing. So many attractions come, so many temptations come, so many distractions come, because of which our pursuits sometimes get disturbed. We pray to the Mitra Bhagavan in such a way, you are the presiding deity of the daytime, that the entire day of ours, where we are using only for this listening of Brahma Vidya, contemplation of Brahma Vidya, reflection on Brahma Vidya, meditation of Brahma Vidya, till the evening, because this is how it is studied. Not like we do one class पढ़ा दिन भर we become samsari. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Throughout the day they are mainly doing Brahma Vidya study. Other than that, little maintenance of ashram, little of any of the dharma to be done. उसके अलावा दूसरा कोई नौकरी सब छोड़ दिया, तभी को ब्रह्म विद्या होता है ना. न कर्मणा न प्रजा धने न कर्म प्रजा धन, जिसने छोड़ा त्यागे नहीं के ना, उसी को वेदांत होता है ब्रह्म विद्या. Though we are studying Brahma Vidya without any of this preparation, but actually the Brahma Vidya is the final thing which to achieve which one has to give up karma, praja and dhana. That's called as Vyuthaya Eshana Trayana. Technically, the one is reason of all the three Eshanas, he is only fit for the Vedanta sadhana, Adhyatmika sadhana, Brahma Vidya. Though we are not following that technically, but still we are in our own beginning of study of Upanishad. So they is to do throughout the day only that one. So ऐसे उसी को assume करके आप जाओ कि हम भी सुबह दोपहर शाम ब्रह्म विद्या का ही अध्ययन श्रवण मनन करना चाहते हैं. Therefore, throughout the day, the sound disturbance from the neighborhood, any the bad news coming from somewhere, then some of the other temptations may be around distracting us. Oh, the presiding devata of the daytime, see to it that this entire day, none of these things disturb or distract me. Like this every day. So this is how the Pranavritti and Ahnaha Abhimani Devatatma Mitra is prayed for Sham. Pranavritti is very important. Unless the entire Prana Shakti is there for us to do the chanting of it, to listen consistently, while listening only trying to grasp the meaning of every sentence. These are all not the activities of the physiological functions or the physiological strengths. They are all the Prana Shakti ki Shaktiyan hai. When they are in full vibrant vitality, for hours together also we can speak, we can listen, we can contemplate without any tiredness or exhaustion. Only in the deep efforts and intense efforts only, these breaking away of all the obstacles, the removal of all these curtains of Maya happen, then only the sadhana. No, just like a farmer in the fields. Or any those people who do the digging, etc. एक एक मार जो क्रोबार लेकर वो जमीन पे करते हैं ना, it requires so much tremendous amount of energy, and for hours together they do and take out the matti, then they will. आजकल तो सब मशीनरी हो गया, but earlier you saw, and then we think yeah, it's so easy, हम भी करेंगे. हमको क्रोबार उठाते ही इधर उधर इतने फटक फटक हो जाता है, then you can't even do the first 2-3 diggings. Only when you physically do that, you will understand how tough it is consistently to lift those heavy iron things and go on eating with full force continuously for days together. Physical action का हम बता रहे हैं. In the same way, the deep, intense activity of study and reflection and meditation requires tremendous amount of prana shakti. If that is not there, we can never withstand to the distractions of the pancha shabda sparsha rupa sagandha of our indriyas, and indriyas get distracted by them, and the mind runs with the indriya, and the intellect is questioning kahan gaye sab log karke. It cannot focus on the self, it also runs with the mind. Doesn't happen to us ki we are chanting mantra but our mind is not there, only the mouth is chanting, none of the inner faculties are there. And we are sitting for contemplation meditation, shloka alone is not remembered. Even is remembered, what is the meaning Swamiji told for this meaning, this shloka, oh yaad hi nahi rehta. Then using our own personal intellect with full presence in trying to grasp that sentence, and in that if there is an Atma, Anatma Viveka, doing it consciously, that is called reflection. How much amount of prana vritti is required, yaad rakho. It has to be consistently done. Because the power of mind and Maya, they just to make us forget the spirituality in a moment's notice. So stopping that influence of the mind and Maya, consistently removing the avidya and gaining the vidya requires so much of prana shakti. That is why, oh Lord Mitra, give us a prana vritti. So that we never even, and see, वो प्राणवृत्ति का और एक काम क्या है, मन बुद्धि को ऑलवेज जॉयफुल एंड इंस्पायर्ड मूड में रखना है. Like when you don't have prana shakti, ab kya kare, aaj nahi ho sakta, छोड़ेंगे. But when you're full of that prana shakti, we will do it today. A little extra effort only will put, that sort of the thing comes. It gives an inspiration to the mind intellect, that prana shakti, to pursue this path. Therefore, hey mitra, naha sham bhavatu. Mitra naha sham bhavatu. Sham naha mitra bhavatu. Sham sukham pranavrutte ahnaha cha abhimani devata atma mitraha naha asmakam bhavatu. So yesterday, while concluding the explanation of this shloka, we said Mitra will help us only when ourselves come out of our stupid bed and nidra and go into the light of the sun and get basked in his grace, not only the heat, not only the light, but all the inspiration, that how relentlessly from the moment of rising till the setting the Lord is continuously working. This is called as the blessing of Surya invoked. In the Stula Roop mein, when we get out of the laziness and go out and get blessed by the sun that way, later on only the sun will bless us in a Sukshma Rupa in the form of Pranavritti. Only when the Pranavritti Sukshma Rupa Bhagavan's blessing comes to us, then only the entire day will be utilized for the higher pursuit without any distraction or delay. Such person alone will grow spiritually, systematically, substantial. So here, invocation of Surya Bhagavan's Krupa is never possible only by chanting this mantra merely. You have to come out of this letharginess, of this sleepiness, and enter into the field of activity. And that's why in our Sanatana Dharma tradition, even one is with Bimariya, even one is sleeping at 12, 12:30, 1, 2, for any of the reason, yet he must get up much before sunlight or sunrise. In that, if possible, Brahma Muhurta or at least Ushakala, if not at least Pratakala. The Brahma Muhurta, Ushakala, Pratakala, Sandhya Samaya, Arunodaya Samaya, and Suryodaya. These are the 6 levels. Brahma Muhurta, early morning, where all the Brahma Rishis are in their own self. Then comes Ushakala. Then comes the Pratakala. Then comes the Sandhya Samayam. Then comes Arunodayam. When the Arunodayam, slowly the Aruna Bhagavan is sending more rays. Aruna means Surya charioteer. Then comes Suryodayam. So Suryodaya से पहले, अरुणोदय से पहले, संध्या से पहले, प्रातः काल से पहले, उषक काल से पहले ब्रह्म मुहूर्त होता है. If you can't get away with Brahma Muhurta and Ushak Kala, definitely we must get away with Pratah Kala. That is around 5:40, 5:30. Brahma Muhurta is 3:54 to 4:50 ऐसा होता है. 4:50 to around 5:30 is called Ushak Kala. Then comes Pratah Kala after 6. Then you can see 6 o'clock Sandhya Samayam. The darkness is going away, light is coming. Then at 6:10, 6:20, the Arunodayam, the Surya starts. Surya is not seen, yet the whole brightness is seen. Suddenly from the east sun comes that Suryodaya. So only that's how our Rishis Munis have given. And so many hundreds of things can be spoken. Only it becomes an exhaustive subject. Most of it is known to you. Yesterday, 1 or 2 we touched. A person marked for success and more successes in life is possible only when he is early waker. Only when he wakes up early, he only becomes successful in all his fields throughout life. A late waker is such a lazy fellow and he become more and more a bhogi. जल्दी उठने वाला योगी बनने का चांस होता है, लेट उठने वाला भोगी होता है. All that we can keep in mind and make a routine and get up. And all of you, I tell you, I don't know what time you get up or sleep at night, that सब लोग क्लास में आप समय पे आ जाते हो. I'm inspired by you that on that I call you all come, that let me start a 6 o'clock class for 15 minutes, meditations on Bhagavad Gita. I'm just feeling tempted to start it. Maybe in tomorrow only. 6 to 6:20. One sloka of Gita is chanted and the meaning of it is said. Then remembering that meaning, that sloka is chanted 6 or 7 times. Just to keep on evolving in the Bhagavan's glory, Bhagavad's Tattva, Bhagavan given Gita. मेडिटेशन करो प्रातः काल में 6 बजे. ओम धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवः मामका पांडवश्चैव Kimakurvada Sanjaya. Shoka chanted, and the scenery is taught to you. You remember all the three sceneries? One scene of Pandavas, Kauravas standing opposite each other to fight. Second scene is the good and bad people sitting opposite each other to fight in the contemporary world. Third is in our own mind, the positive gunas and negative gunas facing each other. So meditate for 2-3 minutes. ऐसा मुझे प्रातः काल का क्लास स्टार्ट करने का मन है, तो व्हेन वी गेट अप वी कैन डू ऑल दैट. If you can adjust little more and do little more sacrifices of the unwanted things, I think we can do. So in this way, the importance of getting up early morning, so that the Lord Surya becomes inspired, or Mitra becomes inspired to bless us with prana shakti and removal of obstacles throughout the day, so that our pursuit of adhyatmic sadhana becomes fruitful. Clear? Shanno Mitra. हो गया. Now second one is तथा एवा, in the same way अपान वृत्तेः रात्रेः च अभिमानी देवता आत्मा वरुणः नः अस्मभ्यं शम भवतु. Exactly like the daytime pranavritti devata is the nighttime apanavritti devata. He is called as Varuna. So the Varuna Devata is Devata of the Apana Vritti, and Varuna Devata is Devata for the Ratri. Now, as much important is daytime and the convenience of the daytime and given to us by the Mitra, so much are important are the nights which are being blessed by the Ratri Abhimani Devata called as Varuna. And his grace are in these two. One is Apana Vritti and second one is the Ratri Devata. First, we'll listen about Ratri. What is the meaning of Ratri? Remember, how much ever we are blessed by Surya Bhagavan or Mitra for our own day-to-day day's activity, achievement. Remember, all of them depend upon, again, the night only, in the sense, at night, how much peacefully, sound, undisturbed rest or sleep we had. That's what decides our entire day. Next day. With the nights properly not slept, all disturbances, distractions, or even indulgences in unwanted bhoga, the entire day you can never be active or perfect in performance. That's where an ideal way of what a spiritual seeker. रात को 9, 9:30 मैक्सिमम सो जाओ, सुबह 3, 3:30 को उठ जाना बस. If you are patient, if you are very old, some other diseases are there. You make it as 9, 9:30 sleep, maybe 4:30, like that. So these 5 to 6 hours maximum, when we totally give to the nidra, which is blessed by the Varuna Deva, the next day, till the night time, all those 17 hours, we can vigorously work. That is how Mitra and Varuna are given by the Lord, or expression of the Lord only, to bless the day and night of every of the sadhaka. As much important is the dynamic activity of the daytime, so much important is to give rest to all our faculties. We have to respect our nidra. And that person who is able to touch the bed and sleep immediately is the most luckiest person. And if he has undisturbed sleep in between and gets fresh after those 6 hours, I tell you, is the most luckiest fellow. And you and I have so many tensions of the daytime, so many desires unfulfilled, so many of the raga, dvesha, frustration, humiliation, the insulted, felt in the entire day. रात को उसने ये कहा, इसने वो कहा, ये काम नहीं बना, वो बात नहीं हुआ. We will be on the bed at 10 o'clock, but तो 11, 12, 1 बजे तक नींद आता ही नहीं है. Both ways, the one who can't get up early morning just like is a rogi, the one who can't sleep healthily is also a rogi. Now, whatever in our hands we have to do. By 8 o'clock, 8:30 we start winding up, 9, 9:30 we sleep. Whatever not in our hands, we pray to Varuna Dev. Oh Ratri Devata Varuna, please give me a good sound sleep night. So that on my next day is full of energy, I can do best. So these are all very vital. So our Guru Rishis are not so buddhu or careless as to something they talk vaguely. They are so masters and perfect people that they starts from the scratch only. बेटा तुम्हारा दिन और रात ठीक नहीं मैनेज किया ना, तुम्हारा जिंदगी कुछ भी मैनेज नहीं होगी. नॉट इवन एनीथिंग ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, व्हाट टू टॉक अबाउट स्पिरिचुअल. And don't you see this? Those who have not managed their daytime and nighttime are such an ineffective people in doing anything. कभी भी सोया कभी भी उठा, नहीं सोया नहीं उठा, और कोई रेस्पेक्ट ही नहीं दिया. नींद को 2 बजे 1 बजे तक बकते रहे, गप्पे मारते गए. Such a stupid fellow, the next entire day is in only dull mood. He don't know, he doesn't know what is he doing, what he has to do also. How important is this beginning sadhana of balancing and managing our workload in the daytime, our rest in the night time. This is a big art. After that only any worldly achievement of artha kama dharma we can do, and spiritual achievement of moksha. Not otherwise. So may the Varuna be also Nasham Bhavatu. He is a Ratri Devata and Apana Vritti Devata. The Apana Vayu, which is there in us, which is a cause for all throwing unwanted things away from the Deha, as well as all responses which we have to do to the world. Now, how important are these two? You see, whether it is body or the mind or the house or the life, if the unwanted dirty things, polluting things, things which disturb us, which distract us, if they are not thrown away, you can never be able to take up the positive things and go ahead. The example, like grossest way, you will have a very good lunch or break, all that only when the unwanted dirt of the body is thrown out. And that is done by the Apanavayu. Through the pranayama, we have to do with whatever capacity we can. And in that also, when we invoke the grace of Varuna Bhagavan, it becomes more perfect and effective. Entire dirt, useless things of the Deha should go away. Then only a healthy body alone can do spiritual sadhana. याद रखना, हर एक देह के अंग में घुटने में दर्द होता है ना, you can't even sit for meditation. Forget about going beyond deha in the deep contemplation. देह का रक्षण करना, इसलिए आएंगे शरीरम में विचर्षणम. इट विल कम अगेन आल्सो in our Yashchandra Samaswarupa, fourth Anuvaka. So the prana apana is the one which regulates our health, which regulates our time, which regulates our energy levels. These are very essential because any काम आप कर रहे हो ना, सब मैनेज करके जाना. And especially when you do spiritual sadhana, it's not an accident. It's not just erratically done. It's a systematic process of well planned, well executed thing. So the Apana and Ratri Devata Varuna, may he bless us. Ratri for with a good sound sleep. And because it's Apana Devata, let all the unwanted, not only the things of the Stula Deha, and also at any of the Indriyas level, whatever the weakness is there, let that go away. More so is from the mind. Oh Lord, when I am in this life of human, many errors, mistakes I have done. And I am going through their prarabdha and I am ready for an atonement. All said and done, please see to it that when I am in spiritual sadhana, let all these regrets of past bad deeds don't disturb me. May them be kept away aside at least the time of sadhana. So usko कहते हैं मानसिक अपानम. Like I am a criminal or I am a some person of bad habits. It doesn't mean I can never do sadhana. Sadhana करो तभी ऐसे जाएंगे. But sadhana call me if they all disturb. Like Mitra Bhagavan is helping us, therefore, during our class, the mind is not distracted with all negative things so much. That's how we are able to do the speaking and listening. So the apana vritti is beyond, all our kama krodha of the mana are kept away. Afterwards again they come, it's okay. But filhal in the class, if you are able to study the mantra, explain the bhashya by me, and you listening, so that Varuna Deva is kept away. हमको डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं मेंटल डिस्टर्बेंस से. अदरवाइज डजंट मीन दैट वी आर सच ए ग्रेट प्योरेस्ट ऑफ द प्योर पर्सनालिटीज. हम कौन है हम सबको पता है. बट एट द टाइम ऑफ क्लास थ्रू द अपान वृत्ति हेल्प which is presided by the Varuna Deva, the negative thoughts of the mind are kept away. So bodily, energy levelly, also at the mind level, prana should fill us with a positive energy. The apana should remove the negative. Then with this prana apana balance, with the day and night balance, with the grace of Mitra and Varuna, we can be doing our sadhana well. Third one, Chakshushi Aditye cha Abhimani Arjama. Now, the Chakshushi for the eyes, Aditye, The Lord who is there in the Surya outside is the Devata called as Aryama. So, who is the Aryama? Aryama is the Chakshur Devata and the Devata who is seated in the outer Adi Bhautika Surya. He is that Surya in whom, see, this Bhagavan seated in the form of Aryama, he is a cause for the entire Surya Mandala. And from that Surya Mandala, of course, for the entire Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, continuously energies are coming. है ना, सूर्य तेज से सूर्य मंडल के द्वारा तीनों लोकों में एनर्जियां आ रहे हैं. एंड इन दैट सो मेनी सटल स्पिरिचुअल थिंग्स कीप ऑन हैपनिंग देयर. ये सब इसका हिसाब किताब बताओ तो बड़ा सब्जेक्ट होता है. सो वी आर प्रेइंग टू द आर्यमा भगवान that let there be in this Aditya Mandala, which is influencing the Bhumandala and which is influencing my own Mano Mandala, be all auspiciousness only because you are the presiding deity there, oh my dear Aryama. Aryama is the Aditya Mandala, Aditya Antargata Devata, cause for the Aditya Mandala, which is supporting all the three lokas, Bhu, Bhuvar, Suva. And same Aryama is the Devata in the Chakshu. Both of them. If the Surya Kanti is not there, the world is not illumined. If the eye में भगवान सूर्य का या मित वरुण का या क्या कहते हैं आर्यमा का ग्रेस नहीं है, तो my eye will become blurred, I can't see it. Because you have to come to the Guru from wherever you are or the place of satsang. And the Guru also has to come there. Then you should look at Guru, Guru should look at you. Both of them must look at the textbook also. All that is possible only when the Chakshu is Brahma. Chakshu Devata is Aryama. Is it not? Chakshushi Aditye Aryama. Asmakam Sham Bhavatu. Naha Sham Bhavatu should be added continuously. O Lord Aryama, bless us that our drushti of the eye is never disturbed and the worldly light be always supplied fully sufficiently. The Aditya Mandala Antargata Tejaha should always brightly, brilliantly illuminate the entire surroundings so that no darkness, no disturbance is there. That's how the Aryama, Aditya Devata, as well as the Chakshu Devata is prayed. So Shamnaha Mitraha, Shamvarnaha, Shamno Bhavatu Aryama. Fourth one is what? Shamna Indraha. Indra, what is he? Bale Indraha. So Indra is the one who is a Adhisthana Devata for the Bala. The Bala in the body is everywhere. But mainly most of the activities we do through the hands. Therefore, for the hands, the Adhisthana Devata is Indra. Hastayor Indraha. And Indra gives us Balaha. Sharirika Bala mainly. And when it is an outer activity, the hands will come into function. Is it not? And here also, when you do Japamala, you have to have the Bala in the hand to hold and go on moving. When you hold the book, the Bala is required. Any of the Adhyatmic sadhana. So we are asking Indra Bhagwan to give the Bala. See, the two types of Bala are one Bala to work. Second Bala is what? To sustain those Indriyas. If Indra Krupa is not there, हाथ लुढ़क जाएगा, paralytic attack हो गया, then you can't do anything later on. You are always tension on that. Remember, Devatas not only empower us for doing the respective activity, more than that, they bless us to keep all the faculties intact. पहले तो intact हो जाए ना, और लुढ़क गया तो you can't even do anything. So Bhagavan Indra is the Devata for the Bala. So we are asking him to give or keep the strength in the whole body, especially in the hands, intact. Then let that strength be utilized through the activity, physical activity, if at all they are required. So Bala ka Devata Indra hai. That Bala, the strength and stamina, it should be as we just now spoke while speaking about the daytime Devata and all. The Prana Vritti Devata, the Prana Shakti, when it is Sukshma Shakti, then the Bala is little Sthula Shakti. They are interrelated. And many a time to the Sharira, the Bala comes from the Prana Shakti only. तो वहाँ मित्र भगवान को हमने प्राण शक्ति देने को कहा, तो इंद्र भगवान को द फिजिकल बल. 2 कदम लगाया फिर बेहोश हो गए. There is no bala only. 15 मिनट बैठे क्लास में, कमर में हर जगह दर्द होने लगा. If that bala is not there, the withstanding ability, capacity, no thing we can do consistently. Mind you, in this world, every success comes only because the efforts are consistent. In the world only consistent efforts are required. What to talk about spirituality? वो तो निरंतर करते रहना पड़ता है. फिर उसके लिए कितना बल चाहिए बल. इसलिए शमन इंद्र हो गया. देन नेक्स्ट देवता इज बृहस्पति. व्हाट इज हिज देवता? वाची बुद्ध उचा बृहस्पति. Brihaspati is the presiding deity of Vani as well as the Buddhi. Is it not? Guru Maharaj Vani से मंत्र उच्चारण करना चाहिए. And Shishya should listen and they also do the repetition of it. That is how traditionally the Vedanta is taught. There are no printed books those days. Guru will say and disciple will repeat. He says once, they repeat twice, thrice, 4, 5 times till they become familiar with it. Then he will do the Vyakhyanam on that and they catch it. And while doing the Vyakhyanam, the Guru should buddhi be so sharp, he should remember the meaning of the mantra. He should also be very alert as to which students he is addressing to maintain the level of teaching. And while explaining, he must be aware of the other quotations also, the logics also, the examples also. All of them are the work of the buddhi, and Adhisthana Devatar buddhi is Brihaspati. So too for the disciple. The buddhi should be so sharp and alert and energetic that every sentence as spoken by the Guru is listening and analyzing and grasping, understanding and accepting. At the time of listening only, he is the highest cadre of disciples. And that is being blessed by Brihaspati Bhagavan. And he also should keep on chanting. And chanting is such an energy consumer. Vachi. And also Vachi means one, not only the chanting, but in that so many things. Respectfully chanting, chanting without mistakes. We are all going to study in our first Anuvaka, all the subject. The Vani Vagdevata Kripa hai, तो स्वर होगा अच्छी तरह, फिर strength होगा, then without mistakes we'll be able to chant melodiously, and this chanting enters into the hearts of the listener. ये सब वाग्देवता की कृपा होते हैं. Like when I chant the Veda mantra, it should soothe you, it should inspire you, it should invoke the desire in you also to chant. That will happen when the Vak Devata is prasanna, and here to that Vak, the presiding deity is Brihaspati. So Vachi Buddhau Brihaspati. So Vachi Buddhau cha Brihaspati Naha Asmakam Sham Bhavato. है ना, बुद्धि बहुत तेज होना चाहिए. Then only what is hinted or indicated through the words. In the beginning days, Guru will tell like a छिलका निकला हुआ केला, masticate करके दे देंगे. But later on, he will only tell through symbols, only through the hints. One reason is that Guru is expecting us to mature to that level. Second is becoming so old that he cannot go on talking, go on guiding, directing us physically. He only gives the hint, that's it. You have to have the subtlety to catch it. For that, you have to have the sharp buddhi. That Brihaspati Bhagavan gives us. Is it not? So, Vachi Buddhavcha Brihaspati Asmabhyam Naha Shambhavatu. So, Shamno Mitraha, Shamvarnaha, Shamno Taryama, Shamna Indraha, Brihaspati. The last one, Shamnaha Vishnuhu. Vishnuhu Urukramaha Vistirna Kramaha Padayoho Abhimani. Vishnu कौन है? He said as in the mantra only Urukrama. Urukrama means one Vistirna Krama. The Lord Vishnu, who in Vamanavatara crossed all the distances. That Vishnu is the one who is the Devata for the Gati. And the Gamanam happens in the legs. Therefore, Bhagavan Vishnu is the presiding deity of the ability of walk which is there in the body, in the legs. Therefore, Padayoho Vishnuhu, Hastayoho Indraha. This is how we chant all the Adhisthana Devatas in all our preliminary Prakana Granthas, which are mentioned in different parts of the Vedas. Therefore, the Vishnu Bhagavan should bless us. So, Urukrama Vishnu bless us means what? We have to do a lot of Padacharanam. See, there are the times Guru Shishya stay in the ashram, but so many a time they are on the Vikshatana and they keep on moving for those 5-6 months from one place to other. अब चलते रहेंगे. उन दिनों में ऐसा नहीं होता था गाड़ियाँ, घोड़े या रथ ना. अब चलना है तो फिर पाँव में शक्ति होना है कि नहीं. So Bhagavan Vishnu is prayed to give the power in the legs so that long distances we walk. Because Guru Shishya dono daure pe jate the. Then asking the Bhiksha, and Guru keeps on en route only teaching about the entire Vedanta. So the Gamana Shakti Pradata Vishnu, the Bala Pradata Indra, the Vani and Buddhi Pradata Brahaspati, the day and Prana Shakti Pradata Mitra, night and Apana Shakti Pradata, the Varna, then the Chakshu and Aditya Mandala, Anugraha Karaka Aryama, all of them who are the power given gods of all these powers and faculty, may all them be kind, compassionate, benevolent to us. Okay. Now in the second portion, Namo Brahmani Namaste Vayo, all this beautifully talk about prayer to Brahmadeva, prayer to Vayu, etc. Then there come the commitment of Rutam Vachmi, Satyam Vachmi, or Rutam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami. Then the prayer, Mam Avatu, Avaktaram Avatu. May I be protected, blessed, O Lord, as disciple. May my Guru Acharya also be protected. Then the three Shanti Mantra. All this takes some time. So tomorrow give the time. We will study it completely. So tomorrow Shanti Mantra. This is what I thought. In our Taittiriya Upanishad, धीरे धीरे ही हम एक एक अनुवाक मंत्र पढ़ते हुए मैक्सिमम समझने का कोशिश. Thank you for your cooperation. Now let us chant this mantra once. Shanti mantra towards our closure. Om Shanna Mitrah Sham Varunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indra Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavato Tadvaktaramavato Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om 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 Om. Try to reflect on few thoughts if possible at home. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Vedavyasa Sadgurave Namaha Vaishampayana Sadgurave Namaha Yagnavalkya Sadgurave Namaha Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Very good, friends. Give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let us study our few shlokas of Vidura Niti. Thank you.